Hey guys, Bill here. Interesting topic today, and it's a little bit of a taboo subject in social circles, but we're going to talk about money. Um, Mostly just about budgeting, financing, stuff like that for your renovation or remodeling project. So typically, there's two main ways to do it, right? You pay out of pocket or you finance the project, and there's a lot of different ways to go ahead and do that. Many people will go ahead and take out a loan, through a bank. That's pretty common. Many people will go ahead and sell off, some kind of investment they had, could be shares of stock or whatever, to go ahead and renovate like a whole house like this. Sometimes people put on credit cards or take out a home equity loan. There's many different ways to do it. We've pretty much dealt with all of them, so it's pretty easy for us to do. But typically, if you go ahead and do your project, you just want to go ahead and think about the best and worst case scenarios. And one of the things I like to talk about, usually in the first or second conversation, is just money. Sometimes I'm pretty good about giving a ballpark over the phone. There are some homes that I just need to go see it. I just don't have a clue because it might be so specific, or the site conditions might be a little off, or it's an older home and they have very different variables compared to a new house. So let's just say you go ahead, you have a project, it's $100,000 just for easy math, and you've got $100,000 in cash sitting in the bank, ready to go. Cool. Um, don't spend it all at once. Don't spend it all in one place. Think about just what you can do with that $100,000. So if I go ahead and say, hey, listen, Karen, that kitchen you want is actually going to be 120. Do you want to go ahead and take out the 100,000 that you have and finance the other 20? And the running joke I have with my clients, or if we're on the phone, are we going to build you the Taj Mahal of houses when we renovate it, or is it a little more economical? Or are we going to build the Rolls Royce or the Toyota? You'll hear me use that phrase a lot, because we just want to see what kind of level we're building at. Many times people don't realize what things cost, and we have to have that conversation. And one of the conversations right now is a soapstone sink. So we'll just give you the guys the numbers because it's easy. This is going to vary. Okay, so I'm sure somebody on the internet can find one that's cheaper, but generally speaking, a soapstone sink for a nice like farmhouse style kitchen is going to be between $2,000 to $3,000 without installation or anything like that. That being said, typically what most people spend on a sink in their kitchen is about $500. It's a nice sink. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just what those people want. Soapstone sinks I love them, but they're not cheap. They've got some really cool antimicrobial properties to them. So if you leave a bacteria on it, I don't know how long, don't quote me on it, but the bacteria won't survive super long term. That's why you saw it still them used in like hospitals and stuff like that about 100 years ago. So yeah, it's got some cool benefit as long as it's well made, well maintained. Like they will last at least our lifetime, if not the next 100 or 200 years. Most modern day things for $500, you got, I don't know, 15, 30 years, and then throw it out, get a new one. So you really need to think about your priorities when it comes to budgeting with materials and stuff like that. Many people want to take out a home equity loan if they have equity in their house. Absolutely, it's a great option. My wife and I did that for our roof. I didn't feel comfortable shelling out that amount of cash based on our renovation at the time to go ahead and cover that. So what we did, we took out a home equity loan, or you could do a line of credit. That's another conversation, but we took out a loan. It was a fixed rate, super stable. We know we're going to end up paying it off early already. But for us, that made sense at the time. So that's another avenue to kind of think about. Many times this day and age, like people, we're just not seeing new construction like we were, and I don't know if we ever will. So owning a house and remodeling it is so much more valuable than it used to be. I mean, God, like 10 years ago, you'd probably get like 50% back on a remodel, in your kitchen, let's just say, for example. So if the kitchen cost 100 grand, you'd make 50,000 in value added to your house if you decide to sell it like the next day. This day and age is closer probably to like 80 or more. Again, it depends on a lot of different factors, and you should talk to a real estate agent about that. But There are times that, you know, the kitchen may have been the eyesore of the house, or the bathroom. The bathrooms are funny. If you go on to Zillow or any of those, you know, real estate websites, and you just do it right, do it after this video because it's funny. Search for a house, and eventually you'll find one that just doesn't have photos of the bathroom. Why? It's terrible. It needs to get gutted, you know, or they might be like, you know, doing an angle shot of a kitchen because it's atrocious. There are times that like the kitchen is the heart of the home, right? Well, if it's beat up, you know, hasn't been taken care of, or just needs to get totally ripped out and redone, you can actually make money on that, which is incredible to say. And again, like 10 years ago, I'd be lying to you if I said that. But many times people can make, you know, 120% of their investment depending on the circumstances of the house. If you walk into the kitchen, you know, walk into the home and the kitchen's the first thing you see, and it's just a piece of crap, it's probably going to hurt the value of the house. But if you have a gorgeous kitchen when you walk in, it's going to increase the value. And if that house hasn't been able to sell, well, now it can, you know? So there's all these things to think about when you're budgeting. But yeah, typically, you know, the most way people do it is, you know, really as far as like the financing side is, you know, you can get a loan from your bank, you can take out a home equity line of credit, a home equity loan, or just pay out of pocket for it. There are other services. You could put it on a credit card if you wanted to. If it's something small, probably that's what I'd recommend. If it's something larger, probably not. Like a loan's a better option. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways to go about and do this. And yeah, just give us a call, shoot us an email, and we'll be happy to talk about it with you guys. But anyway, that's it for today. If you guys have comments, questions, go ahead and post them below so we know what to make more of these videos about. All right, talk soon.